We talk a lot about planning in leadership, strategy, goals, execution, vision. But what if one of the most underrated leadership skills is knowing what to do with the unexpected? Welcome to the Leadership Career Accelerator, where we help aspiring leaders like you build executive presence, influence with impact, and get recognized and promoted. I am longtime CEO Barry Moline. My mission is to help you grow as a leader, elevate your career, and improve your life. If you enjoy learning leadership tools, hit subscribe. In return, my promise is to keep bringing you ideas that make you a better leader. Today, we're talking about serendipity in leadership. I was reminded of this recently on a trip to Puerto Rico. It changed the way I think about leadership. We spend so much time talking about strategy, planning, resources, and execution, but not nearly enough time talking about the value of the unexpected and using it to our advantage. All right, back to Puerto Rico. It started simply. We signed up for a tour of Old San Juan, including a 1500s Spanish fortress overlooking the harbor. It was beautiful, historic, well-planned, but then something unplanned happened. We struck up a conversation with someone on the tour, and he recommended a local Puerto Rican restaurant. So we went. It looked like a 1960s lunch counter, people seated shoulder to shoulder, right next to each other on stools. We ate the local dish, mofongo. And that lunch counter setup created something maybe a little rare, but really fun. Conversation with strangers. The person next to us mentioned something unexpected. The United States women's basketball team, basically the Olympic roster, was in Puerto Rico for a tournament. Players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and we could go see them play. So we did. And the story of serendipity and leadership didn't stop at the basketball game. By the way, the U.S. women beat Senegal pretty easily. But at the game, we sat next to a woman from Chicago. She was a community organizer, and during breaks in the game, we talked. We talked about politics, civic engagement, and the need for more people to stay involved in their communities. That's something my family and friends care about where I live here in Sacramento. The conversation was thoughtful and very engaging, and it reminded me of something. A lot of the value in any experience comes from the people you meet along the way. Then it happened again. On a tour of the Puerto Rican rainforest, who knew they had a rainforest, I went on a rope swing like Tarzan and swung into a beautiful river. Now that's not the serendipitous part, but it was a little bit out of character for me. Swimming is not my favorite sport. I swim, but I'd take hockey, baseball, football, or basketball over swimming any day. I probably even like curling more than I do swimming. So yes, the fact that I jumped into that river is notable all by itself. But back to the tour. My wife and I met another couple from Normandy, France. My wife, June, has been taking French lessons, and they were thrilled to help her practice. We spent hours talking. By the end, they invited us to visit them in France. I'm not sure when that'll happen, but it's now on the list. Then an Uber ride turned into a lesson. Our driver was from Belgium. He had moved to Puerto Rico because he loved the people and the energy. Yes, he was also following a woman who he later married, but he truly loved the place. And then he said something I'll never forget. He said, "I learned something from every ride." I learned something from every ride. Let's reflect for a second. None of these moments were planned. The restaurant, the basketball game, the conversation with the woman from Chicago, the French couple, and the Uber driver from Belgium. Every one of them started the same way, a simple conversation. So what does that have to do with leadership? Everything. Here's a truth of life. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Serendipity rewards people who are curious, open, flexible, and willing to engage. Leadership works the same way. Some of the most important leadership moments are not planned. A conversation that sparks a new idea, a chance meeting that becomes a partnership, a question that changes your thinking, a problem that creates a breakthrough. There's actually a concept researchers talk about: prepared openness. That is, opportunities show up unexpectedly, but the people who benefit from them are the ones who are open enough to see them and ready enough to do something with them. There are 4 habits that make serendipity more likely. The first is curiosity. Ask more questions. Talk to people outside your usual circle. Curiosity expands your opportunities. The second is openness. Some people walk into a room guarded. Others walk in interested. Leaders who stay open see more and experience more. The third is flexibility. Rigid leaders miss opportunities. Flexible leaders adjust when something better appears. And the fourth habit of leadership serendipity is human connection. Almost every opportunity begins with a conversation, and most conversations begin with something simple, a willingness to engage. Remember what that Uber driver said: "I learned something from every ride." That's openness. Here's the model. Serendipity isn't just luck. It grows out of showing up, staying open, engaging with people, and being willing to adjust. Which brings us back to Puerto Rico. None of these moments were scheduled. None of them were part of a plan, but all of them made the experience richer. Leadership works that way too. The question is not whether unexpected moments will happen. They will. The question is, will you recognize them when they do? Will you engage? Will you stay open to what they might lead to? Here's a simple challenge. This week, talk to someone new. Ask one more question. Stay open just a little longer, because some of your best leadership opportunities won't be on your calendar. They'll show up unannounced. If you're serious about getting promoted, becoming more influential, and leading with greater confidence, start being ready for the unexpected. And if this kind of practical leadership advice helps you, follow Leadership Career Accelerator for more strategies to help you grow your career with purpose. I'm Barry Moline. See you next time.